Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's review, I'm going to be reviewing the 22nd and the final episode of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Now, what a series this has been. All 12 of the contestants in there were absolutely fantastic. I think all of them were great. And I think the thing is, there was no drama, no fighting, no drama, little few disagreements about chores and trials and stuff, but there wasn't anyone that left the show, wasn't anyone that quit the show, wasn't anyone that was causing drama. Bit of mischief, bit of laziness, a bit of, you know, I don't want to do X, Y, Z, but everyone in there seemed absolutely lovely and everyone got along really well. So for Reverend Richard, for Colleen and Danny, this was their final day in the I'm a Celebrity jungle. Reverend asked Oti how she was and he basically said that I'm very good, I'm just dancing. And Oti said that the four of them have had an amazing journey in the jungle. Reverend said after Oti's departure that she has been great to live with. Colleen said she was the lady in here that she's going to now miss. And Reverend Richard never thought he'd be in the final three. Colleen said that she's proud of herself and she's never really been proud of herself before. And Reverend said that it was a Reverend, a Rooney and a Rockstar who were in the final. They had to do 2 bush tucker trials in order to choose their own dinners, with Colleen saying that Wayne, when they went to some really fancy restaurant, thought he was dipping his fingers in the water bowl, but before you have your food, he was dipping his fingers in soup thinking it was the water. And the next challenge was called the Towers of Terror. So for the first trial, Colleen, Danny and Reverend Richard were strapped down into these yellow zones in order to win 6 stars. So a star each for the starters and a star each for the mains. Colleen decided to go to the top, Danny in the middle and Reverend Richard at the bottom. And all they had to do was move the yellow stars from Colleen's box at the top all the way around the little puzzle piece to Reverend Richard, who then dropped it into the yellow zone at the bottom. So they were obviously covered with cockroaches, crickets, the rest of it, you know what. And Colleen said it's the first time she's had snakes and she's not even looking at them. I think there was about 9 snakes in each of their boxes. Again, another one went up Danny's leg. One of them looked Danny straight in the eye. Some of them were blocking the stars so the celebrities weren't able to move. And Reverend asked Danny how many snakes he's had in his pants, saying it seems to be a bit of a natural habit. And Danny said that when Colleen had dropped the star down, she put the star right in front of the snake's face, so he wasn't able to move it. But nonetheless, they managed to get 6 out of the 6 stars, winning their starters and their mains. The second trial involved them having to create 2 star pieces, unscrewing them, throwing them down to the person below, and then making the 2 stars at the bottom. So they just slightly changed the order this time. So Reverend Richard was in the middle, you had Colleen at the top and Danny at the bottom. So Colleen was the one having to throw them. Colleen and Reverend Richard were both having to throw the pieces down. So Reverend was kind of in the like a middleman, and Danny was at the bottom having to actually make the stars. So yeah, they were covered with offal, fish guts. They're having to undo the different knots with cockroaches, crickets, and mealworms involved. Reverend said to Colleen that was really quick because he managed to take forever to do his, and she managed to do hers really quick. And Colleen said to him, "Come on, Richard, hurry up," as if he was not trying. But they managed to get all 6 of those stars as well. So a total of 12, winning in their starters, their mains, their desserts and their drinks. Colleen said it was smelly, just kind of sitting around waiting. Danny said he's been on a great journey. And Reverend Richard said he was caught in quite a lot of knots and it was, yeah, very smelly. Colleen said they left the worst trial till last. She doesn't enjoy snakes. And when they got back to the camp, Danny said, "Hello campmates." Oh wait, it's empty, as if because they are the final 3. So they then had to decide what they were having for their starters, mains, desserts and drinks. So Colleen had bruschetta for starters, spaghetti bolognese and garlic bread for her lunch. She decided to skip the dessert and just had a vodka and Pepsi Max. Danny had mozzarella and cheesy dips for his starters, a buttermilk crispy burger with jam, salted fries and mac and cheese for his lunch. Dessert was profiteroles with Nutella and cream, and again, drink, I think it was just a beer. And then Reverend Richard had a prawn cocktail for a starter, cottage pie with vegetables and gravy for a lunch, a fruit, teas and Wensleydale cheesecake, and then I'm presuming some sort of beer for his drink as well. Reverend Richard said that there's no 2 other people he'd rather be stuck in the jungle with. Danny said that having seen Reverend's transition from Ibiza to a Reverend was a bit surreal, but then Reverend explained that it started when he was at church, and he'd remembered when he was younger that it was just a wonderful experience, so he just you know, decided to then become the Reverend and change his ways. Colleen said that they're all winners and they should all celebrate whoever is winning that crown. We then found out that in third place with a public vote was Reverend Richard, so it was between Colleen and Danny who was going to win. Reverend Richard came down for his interview. He spent 18 days in the jungle, had a double laugh at the junkyard, had lots of trials, and obviously spoke about his outgrown nipples, or concave nipples, or whatever they were called. He said it was lovely to be here and lovely to be out of the jungle. And Antoinette asked him to sum up the experience, and he said it's not what he thought it would be. He's going to get pampered afterwards. The lows made the highs. And then obviously at the junkyard, having met Maura before, it was kind of nice to have that experience with her and to see her, and unsure of what was going to happen throughout the whole experience. He did try and make it as fun as possible. And he said that he ended up having a bromance with someone he wouldn't have expected it to be with. So with GK, there was instant infinity. He felt like that she'd known her his whole life, and she helped him get through the toughest times in the jungle. And he said that the toughest part for him was cockroaches in his face and his mouth, and then that fishbowl of junk that obviously Colleen wasn't able to do, but Reverend was managed to do completely by himself. He said in terms of the memories, there'd be sheer joy, testing himself around his limits, and obviously in life, if you're offered the chance of something, do it. He said it might be Colleen's year. And then we saw both Danny and Colleen come out for their interviews, because obviously we were going to do the interviews first, and then the winner was going to be announced. So both of them had survived 23 days in camp, and Danny said that it was quite intriguing and interesting that he's now become friends with the boxing legend. Colleen said obviously it's given her a whole insight at home, how she lives at home with the Rooneys. Danny said it was an emotional experience. He learnt a lot about himself. He had a lot of hard times and a lot of high times in there. Hungry, tired, lots of jobs to do. Learnt how valuable time was. He said in terms of music, he's missed music so much because music brings people together. And with Colleen, she said that everyone felt like they were their true selves, and people will obviously see that on the outside. Danny said he's sorry for some of his emotions. He didn't expect himself to open up as much. The jungle gives you perspective on life, about knowing more about yourself, and what would it mean for him to win. He said it would be incredible, it would be nice for people, and obviously it would stop people taking the mick out of him, because obviously his bandmate Dougie won it so many years ago. People would bully him if he came second instead of winning. And Colleen said switching the house and her boys for a camp was obviously quite difficult. She was still mummy in there, and she was still doing motherly-like things around the camp. She said it's now time to think about herself and her own strengths and weaknesses. She is strong, and it was definitely an experience that she's not going to forget. She said that in terms of what she's learnt that she can now be patient. She usually wants to just step in and do things, but sometimes she can just sit and let other people. It's okay for things not to get done. She said focus on yourself, your loved ones, and she said that the campmates were all down to earth. Having a fellow northerner in there made it all relatable. And she said that in terms of the junkyard and the koala situation that were both lies, she was able to sniff things out quite quickly. Dean seemed a little bit too calm when he was at the junkyard, and Maura's acting was a little bit too dramatic. She said for her to win, it would be an honour to be crowned the Queen. Her and her family probably loved watching her. She's been proud of her dad. They've been proud of the dad for so long, so now it's time to be proud of Mum. And then some of the contestants were having said things about them throughout the show. So for Danny, Dean said he's going to do the McFly fans proud. Talisa said that he brings light and fun energy. Barry said it's like having a fourth son. Maura said that he's kind, caring and funny, and GK said it was lovely having lived with someone in the band McFly. And then for Colleen, Oti said that she was brave, she was strong, she was a queen. Jane said that she's a grafter and a strong woman. Alan said as a fellow northerner, she understands that northern humour and those great stories. Melvin said she's a warrior and she's fearless. Dean said that she was a great mother and at the camp leader or camp mother, and GK said that she didn't complain once while she was in the jungle. We also found out that the 9 ex-campmates were there. Well, actually, yeah, we found out 9 of the ex-campmates were there. Talisa wasn't there. I don't think she went to the kind of reunion part on that show, but she ended up going to a different show afterwards, like kind of like what happened after the jungle. So yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, but I know as soon as she left the jungle, she did post something online saying that she was a little bit overwhelmed, and obviously there's probably loads of news stories and stuff out about her and all of this, and she just wanted to
post her time and her experience in the jungle when she felt was right, which is absolutely fair enough. She's not been on TV for 9, 10, 11 years, probably hasn't released music in a while. Now starting to come back to it herself, obviously it's going to be a bit overwhelming because people are going to be like, oh my god, you look different, oh my god, you've changed, oh my god, you're old. Like, you don't want people coming up with their weird stories and things. No matter how famous you are, you don't expect it and you don't want it, but it's just going to happen. So I completely understand why she wasn't there for that, or why she hasn't posted anything, and now she's obviously started to post a little bit more. But yeah, so hopefully she's okay, and hopefully this actually does good for her career and not bad. But then we found out in the end, Danny, Colleen, we found out that the winner was in fact Danny. So Sam Thompson, the winner from last year, came and handed him his crown. Colleen said she didn't think she'd get this far. She was happy to share her journey with everyone. And Danny said that winning feels amazing. He can't even talk, it feels so surreal. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it so much. So that was it for the third week of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. We have now found our winner in Danny Jones from McFly. Obviously Colleen second. And if we go backwards, we had Reverend Richard in third. We had Oti in fourth. We had GK in fifth. Alan in sixth. Maura in seventh. Barry in eighth. Melvin in ninth. Talisa in 10th. Dean in 11th. And Jane in 12th. So they were our top 12, they were the 12. But like I said, very, very good cast. I think all of them were really lovely. All of them were very genuine. Like I said, other than those little flip-floppy moments between like Alan and Dean, or Jane and Barry, like when they were just disagreeing about tasks they didn't want to do, or not doing the tasks and whatever, or burning the rice, I think everyone kind of pulled their own weight. And like I said, it was a very good cast. So good mix of people. Nice to have a few younger ones in there, a couple of social media young radio people, but also lovely to have, you know, boxers, you know, a singer-songwriter who basically created Little Mix's career, other TV personalities who are just known as someone's partner who can now actually speak for themselves. So yeah, it was a very interesting cast, and obviously you got 2 loose women in there as well, which was nice to see. So yeah, if you did enjoy my review, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you did enjoy my third week of I'm a Celebrity reviews, again, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Let me know down below who are your favourites, who are your least favourites, who would you like to see in there next year. Obviously not me, because I'm not famous. I probably wouldn't do that anyway. But until my next review, thank you for watching, and until my next series, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll be back with you with another review as soon as I can. And until the next one, thank you and goodbye.